Aljamain Sterling does not have many fights left in the bantamweight division. According to himself, he is done with bantamweight, done with cutting that weight. And I've heard him talk about this in interviews before where Aljo has said, yeah, this cut, it's pretty tough. And he wants to explore going up to the 145 division, because Merab, his, best bud, is on the come up. They're not willing to fight each other. So the way they're going to solve this issue is one of them is going to switch weight divisions, and it's not going to be Merab, who could go to flyweight. It's going to be Aljo, who's going to go to featherweight. And Aljo, he said this today when he chimed in giving his opinion on what was recently announced, Cheeto versus Sandhagen, which is going to be a very good matchup. He said, great fight, but Merab should be in this one. Great fight nonetheless. And a fan replied, why should Merab be in this? He won't fight you, so why would he get a number one contenders fight? But it would be great with Merab as well. And then Aljo replies, because I'm going up in weight after giving Harry the beats. So he calls Cejudo Harry, not Henry. So yeah, he's going to go to the featherweight division because he does not want to still be the champion by the time Merab gets a title shot. He wants his buddy Merab to get a shot at the title. I could get behind this if I thought Aljo actually had a good chance against the top featherweights, but he doesn't. I've actually done a video like this before on my old channel saying that Sterling does not do well in the featherweight division and he should not bump up to the featherweight division. Aljo in featherweight would not even be a top 5 featherweight. So many bad matchups for Aljamain Sterling. He may be a big bantamweight, but he would be too small for the featherweight division, and his style also wouldn't translate well in the division as well. Even though he's a high-level grappler, I don't know if his grappling is going to be effective on the top 10 of this division. I don't think Sterling beats Movsar Evloev. He gets crushed by Ilia Topuria. I think Giga Chikadze may beat him. Even though Giga has shown some weakness in his grappling, Giga is the bigger man, and that could give Aljo a really hard time imposing his grappling, and he gets torn to pieces on the feet. Calvin Kattar beats him, take down the fence too good, too sharp on the feet. Chan Sung Jung is washed. Maybe he could beat Chan Sung Jung. It depends on what Chan shows up, but that could be a bad matchup for Aljo, but to be generous, I'll say Sterling wins that. Emmett finishes him. Emmett has wrestling, which would cancel out the offensive takedowns of Aljamain Sterling. He's not taking Josh down, and Sterling gets destroyed on the feet, gets blasted by that power of Emmett. It's the same issue with Allen, not taking him down, getting beat up. Brian Ortega is like a bigger version of Sterling, but his wrestling isn't as good, but his jiu-jitsu is arguably better, and I reckon he subs Aljamain Sterling and even gives him that work on the feet. Yair beats him, and Max Holloway beats him, and Volkanovski crushes him. Just not a good move for Aljamain Sterling. I just wish him and Merab would suck it up and fight each other, because we've seen this many times with, former training partners or training partners who were in the same division where one is the champ and they both had to fight each other. We've seen this with Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns. They had to fight. GSP and Condit had to fight. Rashad Evans and Jones were in different camps, but still an example. They had to fight. These two, Merab and Aljo, they could fight and be like, you know what? It's nothing personal. It's just a competition. It's just for the money at the end of the day, but I guess they don't want to sell out their friendship for a championship or for some dollars. So whatever. I respect that dynamic between them, but at the same time, I kind of don't. And I actually do want to see the matchup between Merab Dvalishvili and Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling. I think that fight would be very interesting. And I think career-wise, Aljo should stick with the bantamweight division because his frame and his style and his stature is perfect for the bantamweight division. Aljo beats almost everybody at bantamweight and beats almost nobody at featherweight. That's career suicide, not the move for Aljamain Sterling. But if he does decide to, vacate the belt after beating Cejudo, if he does get past Cejudo, if that fight does even happen, by the way, that does kind of open up the division then, because you got O'Malley, the number one contender. You got Petr Yan, who many see as the second best bantamweight in the world. Then you got Merab, who many people consider as a future champion. Marlon Vera, Corey Sandhagen. These are like the top dogs, the cream of the crop at the bantamweight division. So what happens if Aljamain Sterling leaves after beating Henry Cejudo? So if, say, he does beat Cejudo, I think Cejudo crawls back into retirement. And then you got Sean, who's number one, doesn't have a fight booked. So I think the winner of Vera versus Sandhagen would then fight O'Malley for the vacant title. And man, O'Malley versus Sandhagen is a toss-up. And I think O'Malley actually would beat Chito Vera in a rematch. So if Marlon Vera does get through Corey, then I think O'Malley will be the bantamweight champion against Marlon Vera. I know Marlon, he beat him fair and square back in the day. You know, he knocked him out, ground and pound elbows. And, you know, he started that with the perennial nerve kick, which got O'Malley to, you know, buckle to the floor and get his face pounded in. But I think O'Malley would adjust to the leg kicks, and I think he just outboxes Marlon Vera, and he's overall a better striker and overall a better fighter than Marlon Vera. So I think he wins that rematch if it's for the vacant title, becomes champ. But if it's Corey, any one of them could become champion. And then Merab, I think him and Yan would end up fighting to decide who gets to fight for the belt. And I do favor Petr Yan to beat Merab, because Petr Yan has like the best takedown defense in the bantamweight division. Very good anti-wrestler. He defended literally 20 of 22 of Aljamain Sterling's takedown attempts. He got taken down twice and got his back taken twice. But if you're not taking Petr Yan's back and locking him up in the body triangle, you're not holding him down. I don't think Merab could keep him down if he takes him down. And Petr Yan is a much better striker than Merab. And I think he's too powerful for him on the feet. I think he could seriously hurt Merab. And I don't think that Petr Yan is going to be hesitant like Aldo. He's not going to be afraid of gassing because Yan has amazing cardio. And he's not going to let Merab pin him against the cage. So I say Petr Yan earns a title shot off a win over Merab. Sorry, Aljo. I don't think your buddy gets it done against Yan to fight for the belt. He better stay clear of Petr Yan if he wants a title shot. So I think Yan will fight the winner. He'll fight for the belt against the winner of O'Malley versus whether it be Vera or Sandhagen. And I think that Petr Yan will end up regaining the belt by the end of 2023, because I think Aljo is likely going to fight in March if it's against Henry Cejudo. And if he vacates the belt, O'Malley said that he's waiting to come back in July for his title shot. So O'Malley will fight for the belt in July, and whoever fights O'Malley and comes out the winner in July will probably turn around in December. And then Petr Yan will get the belt back in the final quarter of 2023. That's what I think happens. I think Aljamain leaving actually does open up the division, because I do think Aljo has the tools to be a dominant champion in the bantamweight division. But if he's not here anymore, if Sterling, who's a nightmare for everybody and somewhat of a kryptonite to Petr Yan, if he's not around, anybody could be champion. But then it opens the door for Yan to be champion and go back on this run. I favor Petr Yan in a rematch against O'Malley in a 5-rounder. I thought Yan won the first time. I think O'Malley beats I think Yan beats Sandhagen again. And I think him and Vera is a war. And actually Chito is very dangerous and he's actually one of the only bantamweights who has finishing potential against Yan, like via strikes. I would still favor Petr Yan to beat Marlon Chito Vera. So Sterling leaving is a big mistake. Him going up to featherweight is a big mistake. It's not worth it, but if he decides to do it, more power to him. I wish him luck. But the bantamweight division will be very fun, because if Aljamain Sterling does not leave, well, Aljamain Sterling will beat Sean O'Malley, and he'll beat Chito or Corey Sandhagen again. And I would hope Yan could win the trilogy. Yan is the only guy in this division with a chance at beating Sterling. But Sterling could get it done one more time against Jan as well. So the absence of Sterling opens up the door for all the top 5 bantamweights, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the long run. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section of Aljamain Sterling's decision. Do you disagree with Aljo, or do you think, that, yeah, he should move up and let his buddy get a title shot? Like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.